The Broncos should trade for Mark Andrews. We're going to break it all down, why it makes sense for both the Broncos and the Ravens. Y'all be sure let me know your thoughts in the chat. Smash that like and subscribe as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Shout out to my good friend Zach Seegers coming in clutch from Let's Talk Broncos. Be sure to check out his entire article. He had 11 different trade targets for the Broncos for this offseason, so I'll link it in the description. He did a fantastic job. I'm not going to read through the whole thing that he said for Mark Andrews, but there are some things that I wanted to point out of why he makes the case for Mark Andrews. And it starts with this paragraph right here. In fact, despite his painful drop against the Buffalo Bills, Andrews was one of the NFL's most shorthanded tight ends this past season. His 12.8% catch rate over expectation was the second best, trailing only George Kittle. He also led all qualifying tight ends in EPA per target. Making him even more appealing is the fact he's also a more than respectable blocker. He's somebody that is going to probably be a little bit less expensive to acquire compared to somebody like George Kittle, and also I think has just shown more durability, even though he's dealt with his injuries over the last couple of years or so. Man, I would love Mark Andrews on this team. Projected trade compensation: 1 mid-round pick and 1 late-round pick in 2025. So very interesting. Why would the Ravens make this move? Well, let's go ahead and open up Spot Track right here. If you include the draft picks that they have allotted right now, which takes off about $3.2 million off of the top 51 cap space, they enter into free agency with 8.9. Again, you include the draft picks, it's down to 5.7. And when you look at their active roster, I mean, Mark Andrews is one of these guys in which they can save a ton of money just by trading or releasing. So if you do a quick trade here, they're able to gain a ton of cap space, $11 million by trading him away. If he walks in free agency next year because his contract is in the last year of its deal in 2025, they likely could get a compensatory pick in the 4th or 5th round. But I think they would be incentivized to trade him because they also have Isaiah Likely, who is definitely a tight end, a starting tight end in the NFL. And again, you need some money to spend. You got to change where the cash allocation is right now in order to give Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens their best chance to win. And so the Broncos, on the flip side, we need a lot of impact at the tight end position, and we got some picks to where I think that we could trade away and be okay. Andrews, he's only 28 right now. So you guys know, I mean, Travis Kelce's playing into his late 30s. Not to say that Mark Andrews is Travis Kelce, but I think that you could get him at a pretty affordable rate if you decide to sign him to a contract extension, if you'd like, to keep him around for quite a while. Or if not, I think you could still acquire him for this 1 year and just see how this goes. I think that he's worth acquiring if it's for a 4th round pick and maybe a 6th round next year or something like that. So wanted to show this here too. If we were to make a trade, if we were to trade our, let's say we trade our 4th this year, as well as maybe, in 2025, we don't have a 6th. So, hey, we're giving you this year, you're going to have to take a 7th next year. Okay. Or maybe we do like some sort of pick swap, right? But we could acquire Mark Andrews and still have a ton of cap space available to us. He would have an $11 million cap hit, which, is a little high. Again, you could look to extend him at, hopefully a team-friendly deal and have somebody like Mark Andrews and Elijah Arroyo or somebody like Colston Loveland if you wanted to go that route. I think that would be fun, and you could have him here for a little while to kind of teach the rookie tight end, whoever we draft, the ins and outs of everything. I think that would be really, really great. So I hope the Broncos, George Paton, Sean Payton, they look into this because, yes, I understand, guys, we got to keep our draft picks, right? I understand. But when we're talking about day 3 picks, and again, this isn't a guy that's in his 30s yet, I very, very good tight end. I wanted to go back on the stats here so you guys could just see. Still had over 750 yards this year, averaging 12.3 yards per reception still with Baltimore. That is fantastic, which is one of the highest or most efficient years of his career when it comes to the yards per reception. But Isaiah Likely was also involved, so we haven't seen him eclipse 1,000 yards. I don't know if you pay him like he's an 1,000-yard tight end. I wouldn't, but I would pay him like he's a very, very good tight end and somebody who I think is going to be loved in the locker room, respected, and going to be another big time weapon for Bo Nix. And I think that, hey, let's say we're doubling down on tight end, right? We're bringing in Mark Andrews. We're um, using a first, second, third round pick on a tight end, some sort. Uh, I love it. Give this offense as many weapons as possible, and I think it could be a lot of fun. So, y'all let me know. Would you do this trade? What would you give up? Would you give up our 2 6th rounders to do it? I would be more uh, interested in that sort of idea rather than giving up a fourth. Maybe Baltimore would value having, two more picks in this year's NFL draft. When we look at the draft picks that they have right now, yeah, well, maybe not. I mean, they got oh my goodness, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 picks. So maybe you trade a pick from next year or something like that. I doubt they're trying to get any more picks. So that's that's really, really interesting. But you can always use them to trade up, right? So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to see Mark Andrews out here. And I think with that playoff drop, he could benefit from a change of scenery as well. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, please be sure to check out Zach's full article in the description and go subscribe to Let's Talk Broncos as well. I'll be back again soon. Go Broncos.